Yo, what is up, guys? I'm just doing a quick update here on Bitcoin Cash. You can see that things are looking alright. There are some. If you were taking the short position, it would look pretty scary because I have entered around 480, right? 480 is at the buy side. My bad. 480 is at sell side liquidity, which is where is that? Where is sell side liquidity? Sell side liquidity is down here. Okay, sell side liquidity is when a seller does see the opportunity playing out, but then they get excited and they're like, "Hey, it's short," right? And they go in, but then like we gotta remember that not to sell low, not to sell high, no matter where you are in the market. Even though we're at a high point in general for this whole play, there's like always small worlds. There's like so. But my entry was around, what did I say, like 480-ish, around there, right? So I'm down right now, which is fine because I am monitoring this. I know what I'm doing. We're in a distribution phase, and sometimes it happens. I forgot, right? I should have waited and gotten a bit higher, like around 540. We're in right now, right? So now's a good time to actually add to this position for the short side. And we want to see that play over. What is it? It's almost December 1st. Damn. Yeah, I don't think we're getting that Christmas rally, guys. But we're gonna see that play over. As you can see, we got that big candle, and then the next candle printed, but like didn't even print that high, right? So it's a sign of momentum shift to the downside for this generalized area here, for this smaller area here, right? So we know what sell side liquidity looks like, right? And we got buy side liquidity up here. I'll put it in green, right? So let's say you thought that price was gonna go up, right? And you went into your position, you would have psychologically, you would have went in for your buy position over here at these highs, and then price would be going out of your what did I just do? Price would have been, what is going on? Price would have been going out of your out of the direction that you wanted it to go, right? So yeah, that's what those things are called when it comes to liquidity. Sell side liquidity, okay, and buy side liquidity. All right, and I fucked up and got it, but it's all good. We Gucci. You can see that true resistance level is coming off of here, right? If you grab a rectangle and kind of do something like this, right? Grab that little high there, grab this little low over here, and you go like this. You just land it on top of the wick like that. Holy smokes. All right, like something like that. Okay. Make sure my video is still recording. Okay, we're still good. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and actually modify this, all right, to state that we're in that buy side liquidity zone. Okay, I'm gonna go and highlight the inside of the box like this, and the outside is highlighted red because this is where you should be selling. All right, but sometimes people be doing the opposite. All right, and then we're gonna go like this. All right, I'm gonna be buying at these lows over here if we're like doing little day trades or some shit, right? But we're not. I'm doing a massive swing trade to the downside. I want to see this go down to like 190. So As you can see in the Discord, 190 is our target. Brain fart. What am I doing here? Demand. I'm gonna turn those letters off. Alright. Paint inside of that red. Alright, you get a gif of what's popping here. I'm probably gonna save these templates. You can see I have a whole bunch of templates here. Gap, whatever, slide man, liquidity, resistance, support. Okay. I'll save those templates right now actually. Save as. Buy side liquidity. BSL. I'm gonna save this one. Save as. Fuck, I fucked it up. My bad. Delete that. This is sell side liquidity, that's why it's red. Sell side liquidity. SSL, okay? This top portion here. BSL. Okay, you're buying the top. Buy side liquidity. Boom. Got it. Okay, so now we got those laid out. Watch this. I'm gonna copy this over here. So everything is a fractal, everything repeats. Right? Probably heard me say that more than once. Boom. Right? Same shit. Right? Buy side liquidity, sell side liquidity. Overall, these are distribution zones. Okay. These are distribution zones. You can see me highlight that sometimes, like in red like this, highlight sell, and I'll just write something like this at the top. Distribution. Okay. So you can see that center. This song's a banger. All right, it's the same thing. Overall, this is distribution, and then on that primary degree, you'll have your buy side liquidity at the top and sell side liquidity at the bottom. All right, I don't want to get things too confusing. All right. I know some of y'all are new to this stuff, but I assume at this point y'all can see the vision, the image, what I'm trying to say here, and why I'm shorting crypto right now, why I'm shorting the stock market. Okay, everything's at a high right now. Why the fuck are we buying? Okay, preserve your capital, right? It's fine to hold coins and whatnot, but sometimes we put in money that we can't afford to lose, right? And when the market doesn't go in your favor, you get mad or whatever, right? I learned that the hard way. So I'm done with that shit. So this is our goal down here. 190-ish area, right? There's a lot of time to get into this position still. You more likely want to get into this position now though, okay? So we're gonna zoom into this candle to see what's popping, and you can see that shit's getting sweeped right now. What I mean by that is that buyers who jumped in over here or whatever are coming over here, but then sellers are sweeping those highs, sweeping that, right? Sweep, swept, done, right? Because that's just what happens in these phases here, right? Is that it just gets swept, the volume gets swept when it comes to this high. I'm gonna turn this indicator off so we don't get too confused in here. All these it's good to look at raw price action, naked price action only without indicators. All right, so you can really truly see what's going on. Okay. So yeah, you can see I got my my supply zone right here, right? So we hit that supply zone, that distribution zone, if you want to call. See, price came up here, right? Held that low, bounce, got shot down right away, right? So when you look at price action in the Discord, and I send you over to the price action tab, it's because I want you guys to learn how price action works, right? Price will go up, but it doesn't go up in a straight line forever. When do you see shit do that? No. Okay, price goes up, and then sellers will have to show what they could do eventually, right? And if sellers wipe out most of what the buyers did, right, then are buyers really strong, or are they just weak, right? The buyers came up, sellers came down, all right? They wiped out about 80% of what buyers can do. If we were to say this was 0 down here and this was 100 up here, you wiped out about 80% of what they could do. All right, moving on. Buyers tried again, but they were barely able to. That's all they did. That was the difference in the gap, right? Okay, sellers came in and just wiped them out 100%. Now, do you see that? Okay, you see that? Buyers came back in again, and they're like pushing, they're creeping. But sellers keep knocking them down. Buyers come in, boom, and this is where the reversal happened right here. All right. Sellers came in again, completely wrecked them. All right, new regime. Okay, buyers showed what they could do. Sellers wrecked them, but not as much, right? So you can see. Okay, buyers want to take. Buyers want to take over now, but how much can they really take over if you wrecked this whole trend, right? This is just only momentarily. So now we're in a new stage, right? So you got your distribution stage up here. And when the distribution stage is finished, it goes into the contraction phase. The contraction phase, these are the 4 market cycles, right? Distribution, contraction, right? When something drops, goes inwards or whatever, right? Okay. Right? So you get your contraction phase. And then accumulation kicks in. There's only 4 market cycles. If you guys can spot this, you guys can make money. Alright? That's what we're here to do. And then it goes into expansion after accumulation phase. And it does that over and over again. It goes back to distribution, contraction, accumulation, expansion. And it does it over and over and over again, right? Even in here, even on this smaller cycle, look, accumulation all at the bottom, right? At the sell side liquidity, expansion, distribution. Now, why does it say gap here? All right, you're gonna go to a higher time frame, go back to the daily. It said gap there. I'm not sure why it's not. It should be. Maybe it was an 8-hour time frame right there. Okay, I gotta fix that. Just gonna go like this. Visibility, days, hours. Just put that all the way back to the max. Okay, so we continue. Go back to the daily, right? Oh, I see why I disappeared it, because overall we're at a big fat sell zone. That's why. But how I got that gap is that when you study ICT, yeah, I don't want to just get too confusing, but anyways, there's a gap here, right? So for this body here, did it again. For this body here, the candle before that wicked out over here. You can see the little wick there, right? A little wick there, okay? On the other side of this main candle, right? So this next candle, where did the wick end? Over here, right? So that's a gap, okay? When you get that gap, price likes gaps in liquidity zones, and likes to sweep and whatever, right? So price came back to that gap and got swept because it's refilling those orders because there is an unfair value, right? Price comes like this, goes like this, then boom, and then the retest. There's a retest. The retest is over here. That's where the retest was, right? If you're buying over here, expecting price to go up, and this happened, right? And let's say your stop loss is over here and you didn't even get stopped out. It's like, okay, price is gonna organically want to come back to the zone so that people who got left over here can get out their orders in this gap, right? And then that's where sell volume sweeps the highs and price rolls over, as what you're seeing over here. Okay, makes sense. So we're just in that distribution phase where shit's getting swept and filled until it won't hold anymore and it collapses. Okay, we're gonna quickly take a look at coin over here. I don't want this video to be too long. It's supposed to be a little quick video on my position for BCH. So we can see over here, I took this order around 330, 340 for Coinbase. Okay, it's the same thing. I have a different setup layout here, right? Showing it's because you invert the chart, right? When it looks like a flag pattern, when you invert it, right? So it makes it easier to see, right? Same thing here. It's just a bearish flag pattern, right? And then you had your breakout over here. Okay, so same thing, right? You have that distribution phase, right? 4 market cycle distribution and your ICT distribution. Okay, where you have your sell side liquidity and buy side liquidity. Shit pops out and it repeats that over and over again, right? Go back to Bitcoin Cash. So as we talk, price is getting swept right now at these highs. You can see buyers came up nice and strong, like I was showing you guys the example, and buyers are not that strong anymore. Sellers just slowly coming in. Look at this buyer. That's all he could do. Weakling. Okay, it's coming back down and he's gonna get crushed, and that's where you get a double top chart pattern. Now that's where the chart patterns come in, the textbook patterns. Okay. It's a lot in one session, but there'll be more videos to come and whatnot. Alright guys, so I'll be adding to this position here. Add a little bit more to short this, and we're gonna swing that. We're gonna swing that to the lows. You may ask me, oh, why don't you just trade this little range here? So I don't want to trade that range, right? I'd rather just go into a position and just wait for it. Let the money work for me throughout a longer aspect, right? Let's go down to that daily. So yeah, so markets are going to be selling off into the next year. Markets will be taking off. Seasonality. Markets don't take off in March. They usually sell off in March, right? So what we're going to see here is you're going to see price. We're going to see price break out of this eventually. It'll probably happen throughout this next week or so, to be honest. And then we got that support level over here. Difficulties. Okay, there we go. So you got that support level over here. Okay. How much time are we having right now? Okay, not bad. So yeah, we should see that play out something like this. So as you can see, All right, we're not getting that Christmas rally. It's not happening. Okay. Will we get a pop in February, March? Yeah, we could get maybe a little jump, right? Is this gonna be a fake out to retest this high over here? Nothing special. So, yeah, it does that over and over again. Right, you can copy this fractal. Damn, I'm good at doing that. You copy this fractal over here. Right, very similar, right? History repeats, but sometimes rhymes, right? You know that saying. So, a lot of money to be made. Millionaires are gonna be made. This depends how much you want to learn, how dedicated you are, right? Nice trades that we're gonna get here. All right, that's 44% down to the downside, and that's not even including leverage, guys. Remember that. When you add the leverage on, it's even more. All right. Now, when we buy that low and we sweep the lows, right, and ride that back to the upside, that's 100% now back to the high. And also not including leverage if you're trading leverage, right? If you're just holding spot, that's fine, right? You make over 100% spot position if you just hold it in the market with no leverage, right? If you're holding over here, if you're to buy in at $500 right now, right, you're just gonna be down 40 bucks, $50. I mean, you're gonna be down 40-50%, half of what you invested, right? But don't sell it though, cause then now you sell at a loss, right? You just have to hold it, right? Unless if you know what you're doing and you take like a little loss and then reaccumulate at the bottoms or whatever, right? But yeah. So that's a play for Bitcoin Cash. Very good opportunity here. Easy market to trade. Okay. We just quickly take a look at XRP. XRP, I kind of messed that up. I closed out early. I thought I was going to pull back again. I know you guys probably saw that. You saw that update. I closed it out in a little profit here. And it just continued bleeding. I was like, wow, okay, cool. See you later, I guess, right? But it's whatever. There's a lot of trades. Another thing too, I didn't really like where XRP was. Like, let's take a look. So taking a look at the daily. Right, so my short position was open somewhere around here, and I closed it here, and it's like that's at support, right? So the thing about XRP right now is that look at that pattern that it's doing here, guys. That's kind of a breakout. Would you say no? Go from this wick over here to the bodies and the wicks over here. Line it up, line it up, line that up. Okay, that's kind of a breakout, right? So I wasn't sure. Like I was expecting price to bounce over here more, but it didn't. Like I said, it was doing what it did over here like the last time. Big wick, and price just kind of filled that wick eventually, right? Big wick, and then price is filling that wick right now. So you're gonna see XRP go to $1.50 practically. All right, you can see, look, a liquidity gap right here. Just like what I was explaining earlier. All right, so this is your main candle. I did it again. This is your main candle over here. Wick over here, and a wick over here. So price is looking to fill this gap. I'm just gonna draw that out so y'all can see. The price is looking to fill this gap. All right. So you should expect a bounce around here. If it doesn't bounce around here, then Yikes, right? um so you can see over here, price did fill most of that gap. I mean, this wick, right? Filled most of that wick, and then it spiked back up. So I think I think we're gonna get something like that. Kind of like another second chance to close your positions out if you longed high, or I don't know, whatever. Or if you wanted to go in for a short position to hedge against your loss, right? That's always an option. Yeah, I feel like we're gonna see something like this. Very similar fractal, right? We're gonna keep bleeding and we're gonna kind of spike out. And price is not gonna be ready yet. Or maybe XRP will get a decent Christmas rally, right? But it's gonna, we're still in that contraction phase, right? Remember. Okay. That's all for today, guys, though. I'm gonna keep this video somewhat short. I'm making market update videos like on a monthly basis, quarterly basis, or a bit often now. So stay tuned, stay safe. Remember, invest what you could afford to lose. Okay. Things take time. They don't just boom, markets up like that, right? The next morning. It's only up like that the next morning because you weren't paying attention all fucking year, right? So lock in. All right, look how long this accumulation phase lasted. That was from March to June, right? We're kind of around that phase right now, right? Let's just say contraction ends in December. You want to start DCing from December to April, May, June, July, or something, right? Like, this shit takes time. It doesn't just, markets don't, you know. One thing I wanted to top up though for XRP, just if we don't fill that gap and price wants to head lower, just know we're going to fill this next gap over here. Okay, you can see there's a wick outs over here, and the last wick is over here. There's a big gap around that 80-cent zone. Honestly, I want the markets to dump even more because then, yo, you know when you know. All right, I'm out, guys.